How y'all doing, Boundless? This is the culmination, basically, of everything I've learned on the atomic DPS inside. First off, I want to go with the 3 combo powers, explain those and why. Out of the three are ranged. They're all multi-target, and they all add a nuclear stack, plus they all have 2 combos to them. That's the first one. That's the second one. That's the third one. Let's go ahead and get these by name. So Beta Surge, Neutron Bomb, and Nuclear Burst. Next on my loadout is the Atom Powered Assault, which is the buff that grants you power back while you're using these. Now we're mostly clipping either one or just 2 combos. As you see, I'm just cycling through 2 combos right now. Either of the 3 will work if you do a double tap and then clip the second double tap, as I'm doing now. Alright, so Aura's activated. So once again, as you can see, they all got 2 tap moves after the main power. So what you normally see is power, tap, and then on the second tap you clip it with another power, which gives you enough time to run 2 range powers and 2 melee powers in slot 3 and 4 if you want to, for different options. But these 3 powers, melee or range, they're just hitting harder than the other 2 melee options, and they're all ranged, so a little bit harder to get countered by a simple block. Another thing, mostly everyone now is just, you know, getting their core glue on aura just like that. But since I started playing with the power, I noticed that the core glue on aura, the buff, it can be clipped with almost any power. So I was like, well, what if there's a dot in there that I'm missing out on, that I can clip it with that and then just keep my rotation? At first I started using Irradiate, because it dazes them, it adds a dot, but it's single target. And this one, which was what I was using secondly, Electron Flare, is pretty good. Dazed enemies take additional damage, but they're not dazed throughout your rotation anyways. But it's an AoE, and it adds it's a mid-range AoE, so there's a tick that goes on. But in testing out more, ionizing eruption, not only is it a 50%er, but if they're in case they take additional damage, if they're dazed they take additional damage. But more importantly, it's an AoE from range, so you can throw it from range and it'll AoE them. It'll damage them. So I can be all the way back here. You see? And you can get 2 ticks off of that if you clip it with the buff. Saw that main target? Had 2 ticks off of it, which is your main goal. So now we have a move that we can clip with the buff that won't take any additional time, and it'll hit all 3 targets. Something that most rotations are lacking right now and don't have. And I was using it before, but before I was single target, and then I moved it on to mid-range, but then you have to be within about this distance right here to be able to hit. But with this one, you can be at a nice distance, safe distance, and still keep up great damage. Then with the 4th power, the way the skill points are set up, I decided to keep this breakout that acts as a breakout, a shield, and it gains you life back. So I mean, what more could you want for picking somebody up, or, just, when you're in the raid, every now and then you're going to need some kind of a shield to, get things done. And that shield is called Unleash Antimatter. If you check it, it says Burst Positronic Force to heal yourself and gain immunity against control effects. So it gains you 10%, well, only in tank roll, but it provides immunity for you, and it kind of acts like a shield so that you can pick somebody up or gain some life back so that, you know, you can survive a little longer. And it can be clipped as well with all 3 powers. So you can go like this. Oh, excuse me. No, you can't. But you can clip this with any other power, which is the shield. As long as it comes afterward, not like that. It does have 12-second cooldown, but I mean, you can put the supercharge in there, but once you got the rotation going the way you want it, there's not really much time for a supercharge that's going to do more damage than the actual rotation that you're doing. You know? So, but that's debatable. But I prefer to have a shield on there that's already doing great damage, so. So instead of throwing out a power, tapping, and then clipping the 3rd tap, I've chose to put 3 powers on my tray. Instead of cycling between 2, cycle between 3 and then clip it on the 1st tap. So it's power, tap melee, clipped with the 2nd power, tap melee, clipped with the 3rd power, tap melee, clipped with the 1st power, and so on. You go through 3 of those rotations, and after the 3rd rotation, that's when you can hit your buff. It's basically a count of 10 after you have your aura on. So first I'm going to show you the rotation from the first 3 powers on the first clip so you can see it and how the nuclear stacks instead of going every other power. The thing I want you to notice is, which is what I noticed, whenever you do that clip and that nuclear stack is up on top of your body, there's 2 ticks on the sparring damage because you're clipping. So once you start clipping on the 1st tap, it starts getting ridiculous. Because every damage is a double tick. I messed it up a little there, but there we go. It is definitely harder to do, harder to move around while you're doing this. I'll show you that later. But it definitely can be done. And the damage that starts coming off of there is insane. Meaning that if you just keep this going, the supercharge really isn't necessary. And see, you could pop a shield whenever you want, go pick somebody up, and you're good. So that's that first part. Since I got the aura on, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that's supposed to pair up a little bit nicer. But I got caught with the activation of the aura, you know, going off. So let me go ahead and try that again. But you basically saw it there. So you get the aura on. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, look at the numbers. 46 right there. Haven't been hitting that. It's just, it gets insane. So you're clipping this power with your buff. And then you're just cycling through these 3 powers. It looks like that, like you're just pressing 1 power, 2 power, 3 power. But you see the clip? That's basically it right there. As you can tell, it's hard to do. So that's why it gives you so much damage out. Start lagging, it's harder to keep up, but you know, I just got on test and you need to kind of get into a rhythm. But once you get it going, it really does great damage. So now while you're going ahead and doing these combos, as you can see, I'm pretty stable right now. So the way I'm moving in raids and whatnot is jumping. Your combo may suffer a little bit, but you can move around and still do damage. See? Yeah, so yeah, that's how you're gonna move around. Alright, so I hope you got it. I'll go ahead and show you one more time right before we go. Notice all the double ticks, all the triple ticks. So look at any other one rotation. They ain't gonna have all those ticks. It's like raining damage. It's the Burnham. Alright, y'all. Take it easy.